Hello, beautiful souls. Lori Rising here. Happy Aries New Moon and Spring Equinox extravaganza. Woo-hoo! We are rolling now. Energies are moving quick. The planet is shifting. Our personal evolution is happening. We are in major rebirth energy for what's coming on as the astrological new year. And as a time in history that we've never felt or experienced before. So much more to share with you about history in this video. But first of all, if you're new to the channel, I just want to say hello and welcome you. We're so stoked that you found us. Like I said, I'm Lori Rising. I am a star channel, a trauma-informed healing artist of lifetimes, a fear culture destroyer, and really our biggest cheerleader into our majesty, our divinity, our joy, and our birthright of thriving in this experience personally and together in the collective. And what we do in these videos is I drop into the energies that are coming through intuitively through my channel and my embodied knowingness or truth. And then at the end, I share a card read to bring more of that definitive guidance in from our guides and support system in non-physical as well as physical form. So there is a lot to talk about today. The Aries New Moon and the astrological new year are popping off. We are primed and ready for deep transformation. And when I was, I jot some notes down when I'm coming into these energies. And what I really came to were two thoughts or feelings or descriptors for where we're really going in this energy. And one of them is in our inner resources, and the other one is with our embodied response. Okay, so let's dive into all that. We are at the Aries New Moon at 0 degrees. Now, I feel like 0 degrees is really important in this aspect because just 2 days after the Aries New Moon, Pluto moves into Aquarius at 0 degrees as well. 0 is infinite potential. It's the unknown. And as we've been making these deep transformations over the last few years, we've been dropping into the excitement about unknown possibilities and potentials. We've been uncovering and reawakening the fact that we are making history. We are the ones that are here for new experiences by shifting the way that we open ourselves up to what we have not known before. This is so critical and crucial as we're going forward. I mean, if you've been a longtime listener, you know I've been harping on this because it's really the pinnacle of how we can shift in quantum ways. If we keep banging our heads in the ways that we've been trying to make change over centuries, over lifetimes, we will only continue to effort, to be in defense, to create that kind of frequency around us of pain, of contrast, of control. When we drop into our creation energy, when we deeply, relentlessly know that we have unlimited possibilities that we've never experienced, that no one in our lineage has ever experienced, that we hold in ourselves in the ancient knowledge of creation energy that's been suppressed and repressed. But when we open up in this new way to these experiences coming in, when we have a belief in them, that's when they happen. It's like I just got the visual of the veil just floating away. Okay, thank you. We are the veil. So we can see the veil between physical and non-physical consciousness, right? As the magnetic field, if we want to look in like concrete terms. the magnetic field is shifting exponentially every single day. I mean, we've got the Schumann resonance going off for historical periods. We have intense solar flares only continuing to ramp up, which means that we have more solar storms happening, which means that there's more plasmic light being sent to this atmosphere, which is the same plasmic light that can be found in our systems, in our cells, even in our fascia, in the microtubules of our fascia. That is consciousness. So we just show our shell is a different form of consciousness, but the consciousness is inside of us that is all around us. That is the miracles, that is the limitless potentials and possibilities. We're the veil because it's literally our belief that opens us to that world or closes us from that world. How does that feel? There's a lot more that I want to get into about this, but first of all, let's just chat about some of the aspects that are happening with these transits, right? So we're going to have 6 celestial bodies in Aries. We've got the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Jupiter, Chiron, and Eris, all in Aries. Now, as we know, your favorite Aries is sitting right here. I've got all kinds of Aries energy up in this grill. It's the warrior, it's the maverick, it's the initiator, right? It's the non-filter, it's the first sign of the zodiac. Yeah, we're going into the new astrological year, which means we've finished the whole zodiac with Pisces, and Pisces really brings us into the spiritual space of understanding what wasn't working or what didn't work through that wheel and what we're going to move forward with. And when we move into Aries, moving forward with those seeds of what we know we want to grow, we move forward in inspired action. We can have an embodied response. We have a deliberateness. We have a confidence, right? Aries is all about confidence. We have a confidence in where we're going. So y'all, I know you've been doing your work. So what has wanted to move away? What hasn't been resonating with your soul? Even if your mind, your linear thinking, your programmed living has continued to try to hold on to it, it will only continue to get more and more uncomfortable the more you squeeze on and try to keep it in your life for whatever reason you're rationalizing it into. Now, remember, when we drop deeper and deeper into our heart, and as we create more light in ourselves than density, as we do the healing work for our lineage, for our lives, for our communities, right? For our experience here, and we transform in deep ways where we fully release those wounds and those traumas from our cells become our guidance. Our cells and that plasmic light bring us the knowledge, the downloads, the epiphanies, the enlightenments. You've got to catch them as they come through because they're fast. They don't linger. The thing that lingers is the overactive mind, the rationalizing mind. So that's why it's so important to continue to do your practice with whoever you resonate with in your developing of psychic strength, your telepathy, your clairs, your innate intuitive guidance, your trust in yourself and in your heart, right? And your determination to move beyond the sacrificial living, beyond the comparison, the lack, the scarcity, the competition, the sensationalism. And really this comes down to dropping into the deepest well of self-love for this whole experience. When we truly find that expansion in the shadow of this experience instead of the victimhood, that's when the love well flows over, right? That's when the love only grows, because then we have a reverence for this wild and raw journey, right? For the lessons that become our innate medicine. So yeah, there's a lot of Aries, and this is all about embodying into inspired action rather than intellectualizing in the linear loop. We continue to make those transformations so that the embodiment and the quick inspiration and the pivots become so much more normalized in our experience that we don't get pulled back into those patterns that have been created around us, for us, even from us, right? From our communities, our culture, the systems, the school system, the medical system, whatever it is. And we get so clear in our center and in our truth that the shifts that are about to go down are welcomed. There's zero fear because we can't wait to drop into quantum shifts because we know the magic that's on the other side. When this collective consciousness, I just see this like wave of light. When it becomes this wave of light and love, in curiosity, in, that centeredness and balance, in that self-love, rather than reaction and defense and ego, it's going to be so easy to wake up every day and just tap in and literally ride that vibe all day long and just continue to emanate it out. Y'all, we are on our way. These shifts in March are pivotal, with Saturn going into Pisces, it's already happened, with Pluto going into Aquarius, which is the transformation, the death and rebirth for humanity. We've already been the wheels have been grinding with the death and rebirth of the systems and structures that have been put into place, which is Capricorn. And now as we dance back and forth from that 0 degree back into Capricorn, it's going to be it's going to be a melding of the two, right? How do we begin to create new systems for humanity while the destruction of the old systems continues to ramp up? And so we tap into the parts of humanity that are ready to go. And we keep elevating the parts of humanity, i.e., love, benevolence, balance, deep soul's care, unity consciousness, curiosity. We keep ramping those up as we're dancing back and forth. And in those energies and spaces, we are in full potential of our creation energy. And that 0 degrees of Pluto and Aquarius and the Aries New Moon are very significant in March. So let yourself continue to be curious about the limitless potentials coming through in your innate sensory navigation system, coming through in messages. I just had a snake in my house. Never have I had this happen before. It was a bit of a surprise. And immediately I dropped into the message of it. The snake is all about regeneration. It's all about death and rebirth. It was like the biggest sign I could get, right? Like sitting there right in front of me. Now, if I wanted to tap into the collective consciousness about it, or even my family's response to it, I could have tapped into fear or stress or tension about what this means for the future. How did it get in? How, are there more that are going to get in, and even just thinking about that sends me into this frenzy of control. I have to control this situation immediately. But I was able, because of the practice that I have been moving through for years, I was able to drop into, oh yeah, this is pay attention, Lori, because I've been in snake energy for a couple months now. And there's something brewing. below the consciousness. And I know it, but yet I'm not forcing it. Is it always comfortable? No. I've been sitting in some discomfort. And I'm also just fully available to continue this transformation and to continue to notice and pay attention to next steps without forcing something from a place of fear or tension. So yeah, there's actually 2 Aries new moons. That's a big deal. That doesn't happen often. We've had a lot of repeats because y'all, source knows we're very habitual people. We love patterns. We love to repeat things. We love repetition. That's often why we've become such imbalanced beings in our lives, because we tend to go into spaces of repetition instead of the dynamic spiral motion and energy that we're meant to be in. And so just know that you'll have another opportunity to drop in on the second Aries new moon. So this could even be like a precursor or a warm up to the embodied inspired action that you're going to take now. I mean, spring has sprung, y'all. I'm looking out my window right now. I'm seeing robins. I saw a rabbit. I've got possums, the snake. I've got an owl in the barn. Like, life force energy is coming alive, and it wants you to come alive as well. From your solar plexus, from your life force, from your pelvic bowl, from your creation energy, from your heart space, from your love frequency. And I want you to check in with yourself throughout the day. And when you feel yourself get out of alignment from those 3 centers, and then let's even move up even further into your throat chakra, your truth, right? I want you to come back. Take 1 minute, take 3 minutes, bring yourself into breath work, do some movement, connect with the elements, go out and share energy with the life force of a tree, get your bare feet on the ground, have that ionic exchange with Mama Earth. Let go of the burdens, the energies that do not serve you, and just feel them drop away. Get into your guided meditation. But most of all, have a team around you that continues to encourage you and cheerlead for you. Y'all, one of the best cheerleading energies that we have is Aries. Aries, hands down, will always be your best cheerleader. Befriend this energy, because your life is here for you to create in. And we've got to stop expecting other people to create our realities. We've got to come from our strength, our center, our light. Okay, so then we've got Mars squaring the sun and the moon. I'm just going to go through some of these. Mercury is in conjunct to the sun and moon. Neptune's in conjunct. It's out of sign. It's a wide conjunction. All planets are direct. Mars is finally moving after 7 very long months of giving you an opportunity to drop into your soul's language, not your learned language, your soul's language. And now Aries is saying, let's come out with inspired action with all of that transformation that you've made. And then Mars is going to move into Cancer. And this is going to bring it home, right? Cancer is your home. It's your ancestry. It's your space. It's your sacred space. It's your emotionality. It's your moon, right? It's your receptivity, your divine feminine. Ooh, y'all, I have a PS. I have a great podcast coming about the sacred masculine. Yeah, stay tuned. So, and then the last thing I wanted to say is Pluto T-squares the nodes. Oh, and Venus is conjunct the North Node. See, you know, there's not even enough time to bring it all in. So Venus conjunct the North Node is really asking us to move even deeper into that destiny, the collective destiny that will change this world, this planet as we know it. When we come from spaces of love, of beauty, of simplicity, and of the security of our inner resources, no longer our outer resources, no longer looking to our outer resources for safety and security within ourselves. When you keep strengthening your pillar, you will know that all of the resources that you need are always within you, no matter what happens around us. We need you in your strength. We need you in your innate medicine. We need you sharing your medicine. So the Venus and North Node conjunction is really taking us into that expansion. And then Pluto T-squaring the nodes. I wanted to talk about this because Pluto will be in Aquarius, the nodes in North Node in Taurus and South Node in Scorpio. And I know I've said this before, but when we have a T-square, what's the energy that's missing? Look to the energy that's missing to create the whole, right? To bring it together. So the energy that's missing in this T-square is Leo. And Leo is all about your love, your heart, your light, shining in your innate medicine, in your truth. Confidence, having courage, being brave, in being so aligned with who you are and who you came to be and share in this world, that you can be confident with the changes that may result in that ask, that light, that growth. I've actually been sitting with this quite a bit lately and pondering the people that have been really close in my life that you know, have kind of faded away. And I'm always checking in with the energy, and I know when to not reach out. I know when that evolution's happening. And, you know, I have an idea that as my star channel has grown, maybe there's been some fear that has grown in people that have known me throughout my life and not known that part of me. Hello, South Node in Gemini. As I totally embrace my destiny with my North Node in Sagittarius and that expansion, and no longer hiding parts of me that I've hidden through lifetimes in order to survive. So I have to sit with that, and I hold that in my heart without control, I want to say, without needing to reach out, and just trusting that seeds are planted and love remains, much more than the fear that may be seeming to dominate it right now. And the more that I just release and trust, the more that love stays and grows. So I hope that that little personal anecdote is helpful. Yeah, so I want to come back to history and belief and our attention, because I want to talk about the galactic reality that we are absolutely moving into. And honestly, if you are, I don't want to say ignoring it or bypassing it or staying in that space of even fear of it, fear of these deep galactic shifts and changes, the deep ascension in our consciousness, it's gonna keep getting uncomfortable, right? Because your cells know, but yet your mind and your conditioning is holding you hostage and holding you in this place of what you think is truth and what you've been told is truth. That can be a big shift to make, to even give yourself the grace to know that, like, of course I believed it, right? Like, we are absorptive beings. You've been absorbing that narrative, whatever it is, whatever's been around you, pre-language, pre-verbal. You've been absorbing it through your lineage's cells that have been passed on to you in this body. You've been absorbing it through the womb. You've been absorbing it in the whole energetic field that's been around us. And that, y'all, is absolutely shifting. And it's because of you. It's because of us here doing the work. Keeping this vibration and frequency active and dismantling and destroying the fear frequency that has kept us down and limited and in scarcity for so long. And it's kept a power over us. That's that Pluto and Capricorn, right? We're totally just blowing that up. And we're moving toward Pluto and Aquarius, which is power from within, power to the power in the people, a power from love. I mean, it's just, I can't wait. I'm so excited for this unfolding. And we just keep getting stronger. We keep getting the confirmations. But remember, as people, we are absolutely so incredible, majestic, and powerful. We are the ones who absolutely create our reality. So when we unconsciously continue to tap into a narrative, a conditioning, a frequency that's around us, that becomes our stream of consciousness. Like, we emanate it, we live that. And so with the galactic reality that's now becoming so much more tangible, palpable in our experience, because as our belief shifts, the veil shifts as well, right? I hear a lot of spiritual guides and soul support mentors and people out here talking about, you've got to be careful of the negative entities, right? Like, you've got to, watch out, and you've got to keep yourself guarded and things like that. Listen, that alone is creating a fear frequency. It takes me to these frickin' movies, all these movies about aliens. Like, there has been a very deep programming that's been coming through in us versus them. The aliens want to get us, the war, right? So don't bypass that. But it just takes me back to that, right? And it's like, when you are so solid in your consciousness acceleration and ascension, when you basically, one time when I was very young, I had a creation energy dream. I've had many dreams that have solidified my confirmation and knowledge of myself as a star seed, and of like our divinity and our non-physical, our soul's light, right? Our infinite body. And when I had that creation energy dream, it's like I got it all. I woke up and I was changed. And then I had a dream where I actually died in the dream. And I woke up and I no longer feared death. So there's many ways that this knowledge works to reawaken within your system. And the quicker we go, the more we welcome feeling vulnerability, the wounds, the transformation of the trauma from ourselves, so that we no longer store it and hold it like history. Like, we hold on to history so tightly. But when we're living in history, we're living in the defense of what we don't like. We're not living from the healing of the traumas of history, the atrocities of history, the violence of history. When we live from the healing of that, we automatically drop into our creation energy of what's available. We are creators, and we have been negating all of our potential by banging our heads against what we don't like and how it needs to change, instead of creating new ways of being and living, new communities, new systems, new trade. I don't know. I want to say like consumerism, new empowerment through consumerism, instead of sensationalism and lack and scarcity through consumerism. And, so when back to the negative entities, what is it that you believe? Because if you believe that they're there and that you're open, that creates a susceptibility, that means you're open to them, right? That means you create them, because we're the most powerful creators of all. And we have been so severed from that, but it's coming online. It's freaking coming online. How good does it feel? So when you believe in your strength, in your fortress, that it's impenetrable by, physical form, by what's around you, by your community, by their thoughts, their judgments, whatever. And when you're impenetrable in the galactic realities, as we continue to astral travel and astral project and take our light body from the physical body, as we continue to, move telepathically, you won't be available. We really have to drop into this knowledge that is the mass belief that creates power in anything. So what happens when we take our belief away from it? And we find the people that are in alignment, that are conscious creators here in the world, and they create something new. Let's feel it. Does it feel good? Because continuing to put our energy on things that don't feel good is continuing to keep them alive. So I know that was a big one, but that's this Aries energy. Like harnessing the Aries energy in really dramatic and beautiful ways is crucial. I have much more to share on that someday. Maybe it'll be a podcast, but it feels like maybe we should head on over to a card read at this point. I'm going to grab my direct cards because Aries is a very direct energy, and I want to see where we go with very specific help and guidance. If you're sitting there and you're feeling fired up, you're like, yes, I am ready. Let's do this. Where do I start? First of all, I just want you to get quiet and spend a lot of time in quiet, in softness, in meditation, whatever it is, and listen. Because the answers are coming through, but you've got to pay attention. If they come through and then you just poo-poo them out because of all the reasons, while you're arguing for your limitations, all the reasons you can't do it, then there they go. What's ready to grow? What have you already planted that's ready to grow? And what is ready to go? Got a jumper card there. I'll keep it as a clarifier. Okay, so the first card is envy. This can be a lower frequency of Aries energy. Yeah, comparison, jealousy. So this is important to watch this energy. Because, you know, I just got this vision of like, you're looking at somebody's life from how they want you to see it. And you're not seeing the actual unfolding. You're not seeing, you know, the heart, the pain, the tears, even the struggle that has went into what's being displayed. And, you know, with this, it's really important to remember that we are all on our own unique journey, our own unique path. And that's never going to line up with anyone else ever in all the history of all the humans. Never going to line up with anybody else because it was made specifically for you. And this unfolding journey is specifically for you, not for your kids, not for your partner, not for your parents, not for your friends. So I want you, thank you. I want you to celebrate some people in your life in this energy that you normally would have bypassed. I'm going to take this to heart as well. I want you to lift them up. The people that you absolutely love what they're doing, but you're too busy to acknowledge because we're always in go mode. What's next? How do I survive? How do I make this happen? Right? And I want you to drop into this energy of celebration of each other and humans and this intense unfolding journey that we chose to come in and move through. And then the next card after that is the reverse of attachment. So, you know, if we looked at this, this is personal when it gets reversed. It's very personal. I consider that almost like retrograde energy. But this can be looking at like, what are your attachments? But this reversed is like those attachments that no longer serve you will then fall away. When you elevate the energy in a place of levity and celebration and like goodness of how good that feels to just give love without needing anything in return, to like share light with people that's coming from someone that you're acknowledging. So some of these attachments, maybe it's the comparison, the jealousy, the envy, they will disintegrate, they'll break. And you're going to elevate yourself in this space. And then the last card is woman holding a heart. And this just shows me that, you know, there's either it's this can always be like a feminine, the feminine energy of love coming in, right? Where you feel these messages of intuition and receptivity from that divine feminine in this place of like higher love activation. This can also be a woman, someone who identifies as female coming through with a deep message that activates your love center. It activates this place of, I just keep that Leo energy, right? This place of courage and bravery and this place of like, you knowing how valid your light is from the love that you're receiving in this feminine energy or from this female identifying person that's coming through. So watch for that specifically coming through after you go through what we talked about here. And then the clarifier card that came through is Angel of Balance. I mean, this is what we were talking about, right? I mean, I feel like so much of the share in this video is about finding the deepest, your inner resources of balance. And when you are balanced, nothing can shake you, nothing can topple you over. And you can literally, like in your balance, you can rise above what's coming around you and see it from a place of genuine care for whatever it is, whether it's anger or hurt or pain, even like violence or, you know, the repetition of generational wounds that just keep coming out in really difficult ways. Addiction, like whatever it is that you're seeing around you that normally would take you off center, which is where you would try to control someone and want them to respond to you in a way that keeps you feel more aligned. You get to just let them have their unfolding journey. You get to trust that their journey, like I said, is so unique to them and is on their own time path, that you just continue to elevate in yours, because you're no longer drug out. You're no longer, pulled in different directions. You're staying in this pillar of balance. Interesting. I'm looking at this card and I'm seeing these pyramids with the moon behind the pyramids, pointing up to the sky, to the cosmos, to the galaxy, to the universe. And it just shows me that that is where you get the strengthening of your inner resources, in that co-creation with source energy, with non-physical, with your higher self, the self that's continually sending you messages in your good and your ease. So I just love that they're like, hey, don't forget to keep looking up. Don't forget to be in the wonderment of what's available and what's only going to continue to break through as your veil continues to float away, to disintegrate. So yeah, okay. Today was a big one. Yeah. I mean, all my Aries energy wanted to talk about all this Aries energy a lot. I want to tell you about something real quick that I have coming up. It's called Soul Biz Streamlined. It's a digital online course. It's going to be live. It's going to be incredible. It's all of the things I'm sharing, the physical 3D reality of how to do everything in an online business, which is all the things I taught myself to do because I couldn't find anyone giving me the specific nuggets that I needed. So I spent a lot of time researching, and I don't want you to. We don't have time. We are accelerating, and we need you moving forward and sharing your magic, your majesty with the exact energy you came here to ascend in, right? We're all going to ascend in the energy that you share. That's your truth. And it's also about timing with astrology. And it's also about finding alignment and hearing the messages of your innate navigation system and your soul, and navigating that and putting them all together to move forward in your soul business. So check out the link below, get signed up. You can be the first to find out when I launch, and you get to have early bird pricing before anybody else. So I hope to see you there. And if you want to check out any more of my offerings and programs, my readings, my other containers, head on over to my hub at therawandwildhearts.com. And one more thing, because I am going all out for this Spring Equinox extravaganza. If you want to join my powerful membership community where we come together twice a month in live calls for the new and full moon energies, where we do the embodied integrative work that doesn't keep us in linear mind loops, I am offering a 2-week trial period for free. So you can join the Aries New Moon and Spring Equinox event coming up next week. So all the links are below in the show notes. I would love to see you in any of those containers. Let me know if you have questions. I'm here to support. And thank you for being here for my innate medicine and my soul's mission in this iteration, in this vessel, in this experience. So y'all, until next time, don't forget to keep looking up.